Hello and welcome to another video. In this one we will do a casted game, basically a game between me and Bondar. So of course I already know the outcome, but I still think it was a very good and fun game and I think you can learn a lot from it, so let's watch it. Okay, so I'm playing as the United States of America, while Bondar's playing as the Dutch. So let's talk about the matchup. Of course, the Dutch, the main thing they will most likely do is go for their flankers, their line unit that also has 16 range, and they have a card which enables them to have 5 speed. So let's have a look if he has the card. Yeah, here this card. It adds 0.50 speed to the flanker. It has 4.5 speed normally, if I remember correctly, and with this card they have 5 speed. And combining that with the fact that they have 16 range, basically normal musketeers become pretty much useless against them. You can't really do Musk-Huss to slow down the flankers with like cavalry and then shoot them with the musketeers, because they are just because they just deal too much damage and also are good in melee against cavalry. So they would kill cavalry quickly and can also do a little bit hit and run against cavalry if you micro them well. So basically the only thing you can really counter them with is skirmish units. Something like crossbows in the old game, I guess in TAD. In this game they are called volunteers, of course. Or of the USA they're called militia. They're basically like crossbow unit. And yeah, of course with USA what you would normally do is go for the Louisiana Tiger. I think they also have 5 speed normally. We will see it when I build them, if I build them. But the question is, are Louisiana Tigers really good? And right here I make a mistake. If I had seen him here, I could have stolen his treasure easily. Yeah, I did this. I just moved back for a second and did see that there was no treasure guy. I wanted to take the treasure, but of course he was faster. So big mistake. Because the dogs, they are always faster in taking the treasure. It doesn't matter if the enemy has already pressed the treasure and you are still here. As a dog, you will still get the treasure because he just has a small and quick animation and then he gets the treasure. So just so you know. But yeah, with USA you could go for Louisiana Tigers. They're also fast, but they only have 12 range. And so I'm not really sure, honestly, in this matchup if they would be good. But I thought that they could, that the enemy could do hit and runs, so I wasn't too certain if it would be the correct decision, but we will see what exactly I will try with USA in this game. Maybe we can have a quick look at my deck for now. So, of course, in H1, the 2 fur traders. This card is actually really strong. This gives, I would say this gives USA a bonus in the early game. Or at least that's what I think. I honestly don't really know how fast they gather exactly. Maybe it's like 2 times the gather rate of normal villagers on food. Maybe it's also just 1.5 times the gather rate. If it is only 1.5 times the gather rate, then it's like a 3 villager shipment. If it is 2 times the gather rate, it's like a 4 villager shipment. So I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I think it's something, it's possibly 2 times the gather rate or 1.75, or it's just 1.5. It's definitely at least the same as 3 villagers, but I think it's better. So yeah, quite a nice shipment. What did Bondar ship? He sent 3 Dutch workers. Let's have a look at the Dutch workers. Villager constructs buildings and gathers resources, gathers faster from mills and berries bushes. So yeah, with the Dutch, of course, they have this unique trait that they have different types of villagers: the normal settler, the African slave, and the Javanese laborer. The Javanese laborers, they gather wood faster and they also cost wood. The African slaves gather from mines faster and plantations, and they cost coin, 90 coin. And these settlers, of course, have some berries and mills. So in the early game, maybe if you go for mills, of course, this could definitely happen at some point. It could be good. But in the early game, you don't really have an insane advantage as the Dutch, I would say. But as soon as you go for mills, you will get a pretty good advantage. But of course, the coin villagers are actually quite helpful. The wood villagers as well. And let's have a look. He has 16 villagers at the moment. I have 15 villagers. So it is pretty even with the villagers, I would say. And you have to consider I have fur traders. So I actually think in the beginning my economy might be a little bit stronger, or actually pretty much the same, to be honest. Because he has his coin villagers, his wood villagers, and I have my fur traders, which are giving me an advantage at gathering food. But I don't have any faster coin gathering rates. But yeah, okay, what do I do? I have a market out. That's pretty much the standard thing I do with USA, because you start with 200 wood. So you get one house, one market. You can immediately get the wood tag, which costs 100 coins, so I already got that. Now I put my villagers on wood and on coin. And I got the hunting dogs tag, which costs 100 wood, and the faster coin gathering tag. The question is, why am I on coin? I think it's because I want to get the next hunting dog upgrade, which costs 125 coins, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I'm getting it that now. Okay, I'm moving my villagers away from coin. Yeah, what would make sense now is the barracks. Yes, barracks coming up. And we do also have a livestock pen because we got a bunch of water buffaloes on this map. He only has 2 water buffaloes, so you have to say the fact that USA starts with 2 dogs, it helps you on maps where there are a lot of water buffaloes and those herdables, because you can of course get them quicker. And this is quite interesting. So the first thing Bondar does is ship 7 flankers. And yeah, it's quite aggressive, I would say. And he does have a lot of resources now, so he can really spam out units right now. While I have a little bit less resources, because I invested them into my market upgrades. He doesn't even have a market. Okay, that's insane. He doesn't even have a market. A very aggressive playstyle, I would say. Because I got my market upgrades, so my economy should be very strong right now. Also, I have the buffaloes with the livestock pen. But Bondar already has 7 flankers coming. And what's quite interesting is, if you look from my perspective, I can see this. I can see his whole base. Because my dog has an ability, it's called Mark Territory. I just used it. And then you can see basically everything in this area for like 1 minute. And I didn't see that he already had 7 flankers moving forward, so that's why I now lose my villager here. And the question is, why did I send 7 miners? Normally it's good if you go for Louisiana Tigers. But as you see, I'm not going for Louisiana Tigers. I think Louisiana Tigers might not be so good against flankers. So I'm just going for militia right now. So why did I get the 4 miners? The reason is because I just thought I might need some coin for different kinds of upgrades. So yeah, that's why I got them, to just get the coin I need to get the wood gathering upgrade. Basically, yeah, I already got the hunting dog upgrade, so I don't need that. Need them for that. So basically, it was a mistake, to be honest. It was a mistake. I should have just sent 700 coin, 700 wood, and then I would have been able to spam out more militia. Because what am I doing right now? Look at my resource. I don't have the resource for militia. And what is Bondar doing? He's raiding me. He already got my fur trader here. He already got like possibly one villager, or maybe he killed just a few militia. I'm honestly not completely sure at the moment. But he also starts attacking me from this side. So I am pretty much under quite a bit of pressure. Now Bondar also got his market up. So quite a late market. I'm not sure if it's part of his build order or not. But it's a pretty late market. I'm not sure if it's intended or not. But okay, so now he again attacks me from this side. I have a few militia here. They have a slight bonus against line infantry, so they are decent against flankers. And look at the damage of flankers. They have 18 damage. It's pretty low, to be honest. And only 115 HP, which is also pretty low. But still, they have 5 speed now. And yeah, 18 damage is enough to raid. We have enough of them, you can't kill villagers. I lose another villager. And I'm also not really able to gather resource here. I have to move to here to gather resource, or maybe here to gather the trees. But then he can just raid me. So it's quite annoying for me at the moment, to be honest. But look at how much of the map I scouted. I did a good part scouting, while Bondar doesn't know too much. He doesn't necessarily know about the animals here. This could be annoying for him. Here, I lose another villager. So I'm losing a bunch of villagers. He has 23 villagers. I have 21 villagers. So it's still quite even. Actually, score-wise, I'm ahead. But you have to consider, I am not allowed to gather resources freely. I have to constantly move my villagers around. And I'm very annoyed by this, of course. So I still have a little bit of food right now in my base. But soon, I would have to move out to here. Or try to get to here. But of course I can't really do that at the moment because Bondar has the map control. He is able to raid me at any moment. And he has 25 units at the moment. That's quite a good number, at least if you compare it to my number. I have 21 to be honest. But 7 are here. 14 are here. And Bondar has his whole army here. So now it's not a good fight for me. How many are here? 13? 7 are here, and yeah. So now it's not a very good fight for me. I try to shoot a bit. Get a few kills. And now I get my Minutemen out. And Bondar just walks away. Okay, a little bit of a mistake right here. I've got my pikemen out. I can snare him a bit. And I get a few kills, which is at least something for me. But what I'm noticing is Bondar has so many resources all the time. 26 villagers to 22 villagers now. So now he really got the villager advantage. But what is the score? I have 90 score, he has 81 score. Very surprised that my score is so much higher at the moment, to be honest. Even though he does have a lot of resources, he does have a good amount of units. Let's have a look at the costs of the flankers. They cost 40 food, 50 coin. So 90 resources in total. That's less resources than a musketeer. However, they have a high coin cost. They cost more coin than food. And coin is gathered more slowly than food. Normally this would be bad, but I mean with the Dutch at least you have the villagers that gather from coin faster. So maybe it's not too bad. The question is, how many upgrades does he have? He's just getting the hunting dogs. I mean, honestly, he still did a good job of just annoying me, killing me. Look at this. Killing my villagers again. 2 villagers dead. He's using his flankers very well. That's the perfect way to use them. Just be annoying, use your mobility advantage. Don't let the enemy play the game. Now, he's coming again. Now I have my water buffaloes. Those are a big advantage for me. They will help me a lot. I'm really struggling with the wood, to be honest. I have a lot of food. And now I will be able to gather food even more fast. But wood is a problem. Because, again, I had to move my villagers back. Now I decide to move all of my villagers to this position so I can defend them more easily. What is Bondar doing now? So he's adding hussars in now. And of course this is quite smart as I mainly have militia. And to be honest, militia, how much will it cost? 43 food, 29 wood. So they are very cheap. I have made them a little bit cheaper, to be honest, through this card, which makes all units 5% cheaper. A really fun card, I would say. Cost also gives 5% more attack, 5% more hit points. And it also affects villagers. My villagers only cost 67 coin. And the pioneers 95 food. So definitely a very good card. And yeah, I would say those militias are really strong. If you're able to get a direct fight with the enemy, considering how cheap they are, they will be very cost effective. But the problem is Bondar has not given me a direct fight just yet. Okay, does he only have 13 flankers left? Okay, so he has lost quite a few but in the small skirmishes we had, to be honest, I got a few of his units. And now I'm thinking I want to push in. I don't want to get raided anymore, so I'm pushing in. I did kind of fear that he might have hussars, so I did want to make pikemen, but I guess oh yeah, I have a few pikemen here now. Bondar does a nice job of focusing them. At least one he got, and he got the other one as well. So yeah, this is not very good for me. Now he is in trample mode with his hussars. And yeah, it's looking like I will lose my whole army. Yep, the whole army is lost now. Okay, how's it looking? So I have 5 more militia here. Otherwise, I'm rebuilding militia again. And now I started to gather a bit from this hunt with 2 fur traders. So what is Bondar thinking right now? Let's have a look at his fog of war. So he can see, yeah, he can definitely see this. Okay, now he's possibly, yeah, he will likely notice those guys. And he's going for more hussars. He's also sending 3 hussars up there, and now he's trying to raid me from this side as well. He will take down the militia. Will I save my fur traders? No, I'm not really doing a good job right now, to be honest. I mean, okay, I did kill a few flankers. I was focused here. But now I should move my units from here back. But honestly, I do know he's coming at this moment. At least I think so. Okay, I move my units a little bit slowly. And yeah, I will lose my 2 fur traders for no good reason, to be honest. So that's pretty bad. But what's kinda saving me, I would say, are those water buffaloes, because I can get a bunch of food of them. And I am able to take a few of his hussars out, which is quite helpful for me. But I lose another villager. It's 22 villagers, 23 for me now. 36 for him. So he has 13 more villagers. And he always has so many resources. Which is quite good for him, but he should try to use them, of course. He should try to transform all of his resources into units, or at least keep the unit production up, which he's doing right now, so that's very good by him.
Hello? Claire.
And yeah, now he's just kinda chilling with his army right now. Maybe he's trying to attack soon again. What am I doing? So at this point I realized, well, I have so much coin the whole time because of the miners. It would be very bad to not use it, because I'm struggling with wood all the game. All the game I'm struggling with wood. So at this point I decided to just add in some Louisiana tigers. And at this point I know that I've lost a bunch of villagers. I know I had a bunch of idle time, and the score has shifted to Bondar. So at this point I know it's tough for me. It's looking very tough. But I'm still thinking, okay, I do have the water buffaloes. Those are giving me a bunch of food. That's an advantage I have. And I can still make a bunch of units. I still have the resource. So my plan is to just spam out a bunch of units and try to win the next fight. That is what is my plan. And I want to hit him as well. I want to hurt his economy, but the problem is he has the mobility advantage. If I try to raid him, my units aren't very fast. If he just spots me, he can just move back his units, his villagers, and then just raid me. I don't know if his units are right here or right here at the moment. But yeah, now he decides to attack me. He's doing a frontal attack at this position where I don't really have any villagers. I do have those miners, but I'm looking, so I moved them back and I'm pretty much safe. Now we can take out this general store, my market. The USA market has 4000 HP as well, which is quite nice for me at this moment, because I have some more time to move my units. They were stationed here. Trying to move them in, but it will go down. They have 18 siege, which isn't even that much, to be honest, but it's still decent. It's good. Yeah, now let's have a look. How will this fight go? I have a bunch of Louisiana tigers as well as militia. He has some cav, but I also have pikemen, spontooners. And this firefight is actually going very well for me. Even though I am pretty much behind in economy, I mean, still, I am just able to spam out those cheap units, and they are very strong. I have also sent this card now. It gives my units 15% more HP, 15% more attack. The militia and the Louisiana Tigers are both affected. This is kinda like a H3 upgrade. And also this deck. Gunpowder infantry attack increased. Increase the attack by 15%. I already sent this deck. HP and attack increased by 5%. So my units are just buffed up. They are also a little bit cheaper. And his units, they are just not very strong in direct fight. They have 5 speed, but low HP, not so high attack for musket-like units, so they're just getting shot down. I mean, he's also killing a bunch of my units, but in a direct firefight he would definitely lose, that's for certain. But the problem for me now is he has cavalry, and none of my units are good against cav. At least the Louisiana Tigers, I don't have any malices against cav, so they can actually be decent if you have enough of them. They now have 20 attack. The problem is I just didn't focus on making them. I made a bunch of militia, of course, which do less damage against scout units, and the hussars counter scout units. Yeah, it's a pretty slow fight, I would say. Slowly my units are getting beaten up. They do have 20% melee resistance. And my guys pretty much destroyed all of his flankers. And now I have the Spontooners arriving. And with the Spontooners, a very strong pikeman, 141 HP, 8 attack, and 6 times against shock units, I'm able to destroy his whole cavalry army. But he made some more flankers, and he is able to defend himself. And the thing is, I got 2 villagers. Let's have a look at the villager numbers again. I have 28. He has 30. Okay, so I actually got more than 2 villagers, I guess. I got like 6 villagers maybe. Okay, we'll have a look at that later. But actually the villager numbers are very close now. And the score is also becoming a little bit more close. He's still in the advantage. But again, is USA, I would say my economy is just fine right now. I'm on berries, which is not good. I'm trying to build the outposts. I'm also on this. And I know Bondar will likely try to raid me, and yeah, he's just going immediately for the raid. And okay, this was a mistake right here, moving my units back. And now he's just going for the raid. Bondar doesn't care, he's just going for the raids, which is the correct decision. Because yeah, he has some mobility advantage, he can use it. He is hunting right here, gathering coin. And I'm trying to hunt him down. Okay, let's have a look at the map. So he doesn't see this hunt. This is quite bad for him. Because he had to move his villagers up to here. And yeah, those units, he's still raiding me. He's still taking out my villagers. And this is so annoying for me. But he's still losing his units as well. He's now sending in 700 wood. And his resource up pretty okay, I guess, at this point. What did he send? He sent pretty much everything. He doesn't have as many H2 shipments as I have. I still have 2 shipments. And I would say with USA, the thing is, the longer you stay in H2 with them, the better it gets for them. Because they can get upgrades for their units in H2. They can get 1 upgrade for every unit. Then they can get all of these upgrades. And yeah, then their units are just very strong in H2. So the longer the game goes in H2, the better it is for the United States of America, I would say. And now I just have an army that is just very strong and hard to deal with for Bondar. An interesting thing is actually the Louisiana Tigers, they have 5.5 speed, so they are very fast. They are faster than flankers. And Bondar has also gotten his arsenal, advanced arsenal tags, it seems like. Yeah, he has. So his flankers have 10% more. They're 10% faster than they normally would be. So they are even faster now, but still my units are a little bit faster, the Louisiana Tigers. So I think if I had just gone for Louisiana Tigers, it might have been a lot better for me, because of course they are just a lot faster. Even though they have less range, they should still be able to get into range against the flankers, and then they will be able to beat them. Because they just have better stats. 20 attack, 218 HP. They have the same attack, but they also have a multiplier of 1.5, so 25 attack. And they have pretty much double the HP. So they definitely beat the flankers. And even cost-wise, it's pretty close, I would say. Because they cost more food. And now, Bondar's losing more villagers. The food over here will soon be gone, resource-wise. He does have a lot of resource, but he's constantly just making his flankers. And it's just not the unit that can win against the USA H2 units, I would say. In a direct fight, they are very good for raiding, but in a direct fight, they just can't win. And yeah, in this game, I got raided a lot in the early game. It was very annoying for me. But, I mean, I knew I just had to keep playing and maybe I could still win. And yeah, in the end, Bondar decided to resign. I guess he just tried to raid me to death. That's pretty much, I feel like, what his plan was, and it worked very well. But I just survived, barely, and was still able to survive. What I can also say is, if you are going to go for militia with USA, most likely it is not very smart to send 4 miners. So just so you know, if you want to go for Louisiana Tigers, you can send 4 miners as the first shipment, I would say. Because maybe the first batch will be a little bit close for the Louisiana Tigers. But after that you will have enough coin for the miners. And you should also have enough food. You can have a few villagers on wood. Age up with 400 wood, and then you have enough resource to get out a bunch of Louisiana Tigers. And I do think the Louisiana Tigers would have actually been pretty good in this matchup as well, after playing it. And yeah, I think you saw a pretty good implementation of the Dutch in this game. They are very much, with them you want to use the mobility of the army, the high range, the high micro potential that you have with them. And I think Bondar definitely did a pretty good job. But I think, I don't know, and I at least think getting a market up earlier should be very helpful to improve his economy even more. Okay, so now in the end, let's have a look at the end game stats. So he had more resource than me. I had a bit more food, wood, but he had a lot more coin. He also spent a bit more on units. I had a lot more units because I built a bunch of militia, and he built some hussars, which of course are quite expensive. And he killed also a lot more units, so it was pretty close army-wise, to be honest, but in the end I was just able to prevail. I got more experience, okay, not so important I would say. Let's have a look at military unit count. So yeah, because he sent his units early, he had advantage in the early game, but once I got my cheap units out at advantage, then I lost all of my army pretty much to hussars, and he got his army back. But then I rebuilt. So maybe he could have attacked me at this point. But yeah, in the end, I had a bigger army, and after the last fight I was able to remass easily again. And I won the game. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. Maybe I will do some more casted games in the future, and until next time.